sing on their own?
I don't know, from printed magazine. Is somebody want to comment the importance of the image, the selection of the project?
Yo creo que no entiendo cuando alguien habla de la fotografía como pornografía, no lo entiendo. Es nuestro lenguaje, es el lenguaje metalingüístico de los arquitectos, las imágenes, me parece absolutamente necesario. No sé dónde está, siento que es una especie de crítica un tanto moral o moralista trasnochada. Si utilizamos las imágenes, lo que queremos es transmitir a través de las imágenes y en la actualidad es la forma en la que se puede comunicar mejor. Los textos son importantes, ayudan, soportan esas imágenes, pero yo no pondría ni minusvaloraría en absoluto el discurso en el que un arquitecto como tal es una de sus herramientas principales.
Maybe I can just briefly say something. For us, of course, images are very, very, very important. And I was very astonished that Manon, she told that they even have their own photographers traveling around the world and doing photographs. So we would love to do this, because I think, you know, when we show architecture and we very often buy the same images as you do, so we have all the same images, and many of those images are very nice, but there are always images who show the architecture in the best light, from the best corner, from the best. So this is quite okay, but there can also be another, you know, language of images that could be established if we could afford to hire our own photographers. So that would be something I would appreciate pretty much, and I think it's, unfortunately, at least for Detail magazine, you cannot realize that. But you sometimes do, I think, Marcus, with Dezeen, right?
Do what?
Your own image, your own photographs?
No, not
or
really.
Or videos,
Yeah.
It's more videos.
There's a lot of, I think also, I agree with you about that, we agree on the architecture photography stupidity, but also I think the debate about imagery is kind of quite shallow because there's a lot of other things about images. Images are data. When it comes to the internet, they're data. So you've got to think about the quality of the data and the size of the file and things like that. Increasingly, copyright is becoming an issue. Okay, one of the reasons why at the moment you have to have words with the images is because Google can't find, if you type in Eiffel Tower, Google needs to find the words Eiffel Tower and then it will show you the pictures. It won't be long before it figures out how to read the image directly, and then we'll have another paradox like, do we need to bother with the words? But for now, you have to put good quality journalism, otherwise Google ranks you down. So it's not, the system is tricking us into writing in a way. But also copyright is starting to become a huge issue on the internet, because now photographers and more importantly lawyers can identify their images through image recognition software. So suddenly, we're very careful about copyright. We always check, but sometimes there's a mistake. We're now suddenly getting legal letters about you didn't have permission to run these articles and things like that. The internet was the Wild West for like 20 years, and now suddenly it's becoming very, very regulated, and that's a potential, images are a potential source of huge problems for people like us. So it's not just about a nice image, you have to think about the implications, the data implications, the legal implications, and the search implications.
Yeah, I think we have a responsibility in front of the photographers as well, because we think their work is for granted and we just take it. You can like click and drop it down and then use it. And we don't do it. Maybe I have always talks with my collaborators, don't just use a photo. If you don't have a photo, just, I don't know, make a sketch. You are a trained architect, I don't know, and then ask and publish it later. But it's really hard. I think in the internet where everything is so fast and then you want to be first and you just take a photograph. So I go sometimes and take my own photograph, is if it's in Zurich. So it's a shabby iPhone photo, but then I write it down, iPhone photo by Jenny Keller. But and we should be aware of this dependency of the photographers and find a new, I don't know, contract or new understanding how we use the work and how we appreciate the work. But I think the architects as well should make other agreements and should pay more, but then have the rights of the pictures and can give it out properly. Because I often experience that they don't have the rights or that they don't know nothing about, and then we get an angry call of the photographer, and I thought I did nothing wrong. So it is like a three-way situation.
Architectural photography will be a topic for the next event.
No, hay dos cosas. Hay dos cosas en la fotografía. Obviamente el problema es si hablamos de la fotografía de los fotógrafos estrella, bien, podríamos entrar en la discusión de si es razonable que algunos fotógrafos cobren por un trabajo de arquitectura más de lo que ha cobrado el arquitecto por realizar ese trabajo de arquitectura, y eso sería una discusión, obviamente. Otra discusión sería si un fotógrafo que cobra por hacer un trabajo debe de seguir cobrando una vez que le han pagado su trabajo sistemáticamente. Imaginémonos el caso, para que se me entienda, que los arquitectos cobrásemos por cada visitante que tienen los clientes de nuestros edificios. Nadie lo entendería, es decir, o la arquitectura, los arquitectos desaparecerían. Es un debate, es una discusión. Obviamente los derechos de autor surgen cuando son freelance, cuando van a encargados, cuando no llevan un encargo y cuando nadie les paga y es un trabajo que se debe de pagar. Es un debate complicado, es un debate muy complejo y es un debate sobre el que no se puede banalizar. Pero también hay esa situación, reconociendo que la imagen es uno de los factores más importantes en la comunicación de arquitectura. Obviamente debería de existir un equilibrio entre... pero yo no menospreciaría ni diría que por eso es la fotografía pornografía, ¿no? Nosotros en nuestro caso pues apoyamos a fotógrafos jóvenes, apoyamos a fotógrafos que inician, que trabajan, que lo hacen estupendamente, que la narración en arquitectura tiene unos códigos especiales y que les pedimos que tengan, porque queremos que pongan atención en determinadas cosas. Y también colaboramos con arquitectos, con fotógrafos importantes, pero no creo que ese sea un debate.
You asked about images, right? When I think on images, I don't think only photo. I think more or less in three, my thought is divided in three ways: photo, illustration, and infographic, data journalism. All are images, and all are, in my opinion, super important to help to communicate and explain architecture. All of three things are super expensive to do well, and this is a problem for the current economical situation of the editorial market. But when we're talking about images, I think, first of all, I think illustration. Second, picture, and then infographic. We use it a lot of infographic and to try to communicate, to try to involve the attention to the readership.
And another thing is that the internet has changed the value proposition of imagery, because in the old days of print magazines, visual information was scarce. It was hard to come by, it was hard to negotiate, and it's therefore expensive. With the internet, it's abundant. It's like limitless amounts of visual information. So unfortunately for the people who create those images in the first place, they have to rethink their business model. But the value, you can increase the value of an image by the context you place it in, and that's the difference between successful and good websites and unsuccessful and bad ones, because it's not just about the image, it's about the way that you, not only the quality of the writing around it, but the way you place it in a page and the way you think about the reader's experience and stuff like that. Images are abundant and therefore approaching zero in kind of value, but the context in which you place them gives increased value to them, if you see what I mean. So we have a new compact with photographers. They give us their images for nothing because they know that people will see the images on our website and then they'll pay for them for whatever, or they'll commission them for their next project or whatever. Unless you're Iwan Ban, and then you can charge €1,000 every time.
Yeah, what I think is not well done online publishing-wise is you get, for instance, 23 photographies, and you just publish them all because it's so easy, it's click and drop, and I don't know. Why do you do that? Why do you have to select them? You will do that when you have a printed magazine. You select, I don't know, 5 pictures because you have 7 pages, and you should do that in the internet as well, because if you just vomit everything inside, it's not a good article and it's not made your job clearly. And I try to do that, but I see often on the sites that it's just you used everything because you can. So, and that makes not a good light on our work, I think.
That depends, though. But why not use all of them as long as you can contextualize them?
Because I always
properly.
I make a choice. I make a choice to publish a house, and I make a choice how to show it. And I don't think that this abundancy helps the reader to get the right picture. So, because I want to transport it as good as I can, and not leave him the work to do it.
We put all the extra images in a little gallery at the bottom, and then people can choose whether they want to look at them.
I think what you're saying is very true on different devices. I mean, if you are on a mobile, you want to flip more images. If you are on a computer or on a tablet, it is more to do with content, so you are more willing to read. On the mobiles, and obviously a lot of people use mobiles, they're much more common. It is important to have quite a lot of images, because 1, 2, maybe 3, they're not enough. So I don't know. It depends a lot on devices as well.
It's true. It's easy to forget that the internet is not one thing. It's like it's a different experience depending on your device, and it's true that on mobile, people will spend longer on the time. They'll flick through. If there are 100 images, they'll flick through all of them, and each one is maybe a quarter of a second. So that's 25 extra seconds, and if you care about that kind of granularity of data, then you're going to put all the images up. But then you get a bandwidth problem, because it takes longer to load 100 images. So it's more like a technical equation of like more images makes slower load time, which makes worse SEO, and so on and so forth. So it's basically a mathematical problem.
Sí. Buenas tardes. Yo creo que aquí se están planteando muchas preguntas y muchos interrogantes al calor de la fotografía en arquitectura. Evidentemente, el tema de la fotografía en arquitectura pues parece ser que es un aspecto que está causando mucho interés, no solamente relacionado con la arquitectura contemporánea y con propuestas que se puedan estar haciendo aquí en España, como por ejemplo en el Museo del ICO, relacionada con arquitectura, con fotografía y arquitectura contemporánea, sino también con otras propuestas en un aspecto mucho más histórico, como se han hecho recientemente en la Biblioteca Nacional con la fotografía de arquitectura al comienzo de la fotografía en el siglo XIX. Evidentemente, aparte de estas cuestiones más o menos históricas, se están planteando también aquí unas cuestiones que son técnicas, y que son técnicas también debido a una necesidad de respuesta ante la emergencia que han causado en todos nosotros las redes sociales y las nuevas formas de comunicar, y sobre todo formas de comunicar desde el punto de vista visual. Y la arquitectura, con su componente visual, evidentemente no se puede separar de eso. Evidentemente, la imagen, sea fotografía, sea un plano, sea un boceto, sea un dibujo, un plano, fin de obra, evidentemente es importante y transmite un mensaje, transmite un concepto. Pero también, a la hora de escribir un artículo, también se tiene que tener presente qué es lo que se quiere contar, y hacer una selección que es un poco lo que se estaba planteando, una selección reflexiva de qué materiales o qué datos vamos a utilizar, no utilizar todos los datos. Y a su vez, ese uso de los datos, tener en cuenta en qué medio lo vamos a usar. No es lo mismo usarlo en Instagram que usarlo en una aplicación móvil, que usarlo en una web, que usarlo en una revista, incluso en papel, que las hay y algunas sobreviven. Y todo esto nos da un panorama muy plural, muy amplio, en el cual, pues claro, nos tenemos que ir amoldando, ir buscando el mejor encaje de todas estas circunstancias a la forma de comunicar arquitectura en unos tiempos, pues digamos que son de cambio.
¿Tiempo para una última pregunta?
Has ganado la última pregunta.
Bueno, hemos hablado mucho de la fotografía y me gustaría hacer una pregunta sobre la lectura en Internet, porque yo estoy viendo que en los blogs y en los webs, yo también escribo en un blog, bueno, los artículos suelen ser más cortos, ¿no? Más compactos. Y yo me pregunto si, bueno, yo creo que es bastante obvio, pero me gustaría escuchar lo que opináis sobre la lectura
tienen que
de
ser
textos en Internet.
los artículos.
Bueno, respondo rápido. Obviamente hay muchas fotografías y depende de cada uno de nosotros la narración que quiera hacer. Si alguien quiere poner muchas fotografías sin un discurso, es su problema. Pero yo creo que los lectores son muy inteligentes y saben quién hace la narración visual y quién presenta de determinada manera esas imágenes. El que todo es libre y se puede poner todo, pues depende del criterio de cada uno. En relación con los artículos, sí, son mucho más cortos. La gente lee menos, pero no creo que ahora, creo que la gente lee ahora más que antes. Es obvio que antes, entre todos nosotros, cuando leíamos un periódico, leíamos los titulares, el 90% de las noticias de ese periódico, y no leíamos más. Esa visión crítica hacia los medios digitales actualmente, yo creo que es errónea. Muchos de los medios digitales que ahora se critican, algunos de los que se critican, no hacen nada más que hacer lo que hacían